Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smith in the Black channel here at TikTok with the Strat Time Report, and coming into a Tuesday, and there's certain things that you want to be able to do when you're scanning to look for what opportunities you want. So the first thing we do, right, that I talk about near every day is go to the broader averages and see what's going on, right? So what do we got going on here? SPY, inside day, right, doing nothing, all right? Some of these internals would make it look like it's getting killed, but there's a lot of things doing nothing, which is SPY is one of them. So on any given Tuesday, if you have an inside day, get mega cursor up. If you have an inside day on a Tuesday, even though we were up yesterday, it still shows indecision for the week. Because if we take this down tomorrow here, then you could take that week back red because we're still an inside week too, right? We're still green on the month and two up. But right now, indecision to start off the week. If we go to QQQ, what do you see here? A slight two to the upside, but Doge, right? This thing's doing nothing here. Now Q's does this on the 60. Here, so we want to see inside 60, trying to get out of here. Still an inside week, right? Doji on the month, this monthly, a real problem here, right? Trying to get anything going. So Qs, nope. How about the Dow Jones Diamonds? Dow Jones Diamonds inside day on a Tuesday. Either way on this one tomorrow. Now they might not stay that way. Got some more day left. But as far as we know, that's what we know about that. But then if you go to small cappers, little different ball game. Inside day to the downside, taking out last week's lows. That was a 2 up because it slightly went into the highs. And now, boom, now you got a reversal here. Problem is that month again. You can see this doji month. But now at least you've got some discernible weakness with the small cappers to know about, right? Another thing you want to do is be able to scan and look like this here. Because like I've said many times, I can tell you what the market's doing without looking at a chart. So what we want to do here is sort this, right? And say, okay, who is taking out last week's highs, right? Because you got the broader averages for the most part outside of IWM, still inside weeks. So we want to see who's outperforming over there. So you got this DLPN, we'll get to that. Facebook, Verizon, Bristol Myers, Kroger, Procter and Gamble, Mondelez, that tells me XLP, right? Pepsi, that tells me XLP. Home Depot still going, we'll get to that. Colgate, that tells me XLP. Costco, that tells me some retail, big box of retail. So if you go to the other side, you'll see this. Who's taking out last week's lows? AMC, American Airlines. You're going to see Boeing, United Airlines, that's telling me some transports and some coming out stocks. Macy's, JetBlue, you see the airline weakness. Disney, LVS, some coming out, more coming out. TripAdvisor, that's more opening up, if you will. Lyft, all right, so that's telling us, giving us a good idea, EXPE, giving us a good idea of what's going on out there in the market and saying that, okay, when you see a concentration in certain groups, that's where you go. So if we go to, well, let's go to that DLPN. So one of those things, even if you're not scanning, one of the things you really want to have up is a quote field of all the sectors, right? That would tell you what's going on. That would tell you that XLP's up, right? And so DLPN chopping them up a little bit here. Shenanigan stock had a nice move, but we'll see on the 60. Now trying to rev strat back down. Here you see this, the inside bar hits magnitude, right? 212. The magnitude was to take this out. It did that, right? So now the question is, the buyer's going to step up again, or triangle they out and come down here, rev strat, that would be below here, 1350 if they want to take her back the other way. If we go to Adobe, Tech, you see this taking out last week's highs, starting to come back up here, doji on the month again, but you can see this here on the monthly. All these guys got stopped out. Now it can back and fill and come back up. There's your slight lower low, coming back into the previous range. So Adobe's still trying to chug along here. Watching to see how these Qs break, that's going to make a difference because we had Netflix start off with a nice little morning and then kind of peter out, which you can somewhat expect because of this monthly. It was inside month, 2 months inside. Look at the, just like the Qs, the opening and closing ranges on the monthly Netflix. So you can expect that back and forth, back and forth. You got a little push this morning, but so far that looks like it might be it. If we go to the XLP, XLP, different story here, right? Outside month to the upside, bright green and on the highs of the month, right? It is. So if you go here on the weekly, taking out last week's highs, here's another thing that we look for in the daily. The outside day, right? Gap down and came all the way back, and then the continuation, right? Because this here, when it gaps down and then starts coming back through, was rejecting that selling, right? And when this continues, that rejection is still occurring. Right now, you got a new 60, starting to back off just a tad on that, but usual suspects: Procter and Gamble here, taking out that outside month to the upside now. Procter, Colgate here, going inside week to the upside here for the rest of the week above 76.50, right? Takes you up on that. If we go to Pepsi having a nice little day, and you can see that once again, slight poke down, boom, green, now looking for an outside month. So we'll see if Pepsi can take this out, 142.12. All right, watching to see which way these Qs break. We also have Home Depot still going, right? Now you got an inside 60, but remember this outside month, and this is these combinations we look for. Talked about this many times. 2 down by taking out the previous low. Boom, there was your reversal to set up the outside month, and hopefully more, and take all these guys out. So trying to gun up here to 290, 295. Looks like we might have done it. Nope, almost there. Yep, did it. So now it's an outside bar of all that. Did its job. Now you're going to do exhaustion risk because you're into new highs. If you go to DG, and DG coming back up, turns green on the month, right? You can see this outside week, took out both sides, right? And now, boom, back to the high. It's 3-2 up on the week. And you see this here, the slight lower low, the 2-2 day, boom, all the way back up. DG now inside in the 60 to see if there's any more in the tank there. If we go to Ctxs, and Ctxs, here you're going to notice this weekly upper middle here. Inside, pokes down, boom, rev strat week. And if that works, you're going to get the outside month right here. Right? And here's your reversal on the daily. See all this stuff? It's my support level, is it? Bam. 2-2 reversal and right back up. If we go to Costco. And Costco stops them all out. Now coming back and going green on the month. Right? You'll notice these 2 weeks were inside of this week. So they become a compound one. So this is an inside bar to the upside if it was a 2-week pattern. All right? So Costco, and that tells us maybe look at Target. Target coming up a tad here, taking out last week's highs. There's Walmart, big box marts. Walmart's still a little stuck, but trying to wake up just a tad. If we go to FNCO, or FNKO, Funko, just had a nice spike in this, so we'll see what comes of that. Still inside week, but you can see that activity coming back through previous range. That's good because anybody was short, stopped against here, 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 and blasted them all out. See if we can be strong enough for that. Broader averages going to sleep as well. They should. With that IWM, you'd notice that Labu here, daily, inside day, pokes up, boom, rev strat to the downside. Now you're still all right in the weekly, just kind of stuck in here, right? But you are also in the monthly below last month's lows in here. Now you go inside on the 60. We'll see how that acts. If you go to UPST, one of them gunners from you for the last few days, and now just giving it up. And here's what you look for when you see something like this. You'll be, I want to short it. If you would have shorted it any of these days, you'd be murdered. Nah, it's a new day. That's different. So then you look at the 60, and you're going to see this. The 2 up, 2 down, right there. Below 149.50, right? Still no higher high on the 60. There's a nice 20 bucks. If you go to airlines, like we said, airlines having some issues here. Airlines taking out last week's lows. There's United Airlines. American, 2-2 reversals on these, right? If you go to Boeing, from the weekend vids, 2 up by taking out the previous high. Boom, there's your 2-2 reversal on the weekly. Still green on the month, but coming back through all this stuff as of right now. PTCT. And taking out all this stuff and taking out last month's lows with that Labu weakness. Now inside in the 60, having somewhat of a rough day. Like I said, these broader averages kind of drying up a little bit. We also have TripAdvisor. Trip. So Trip, you see this outside week, pokes up. It's a 3-2-2. We're looking to take this out, right? Because we know that this is a broadening formation. Talked about that yesterday. It tells us to look at EXPE. 2-2 reversal on the week. Still green on the month, but if that's going to change, you're going to come back through this previous range, right? Took out the previous high, took out the previous low. We're looking for this at least to get taken out. 163. So you got some distance on that for the rest of the week. We go to the cruise ships. RCL. Upper left inside day to the downside, right? Which triggers the one inside, poke up, RevStrat here, below this. 86.53. Now let's see if it can be weak enough to come through here. Still an inside month, but red, and that tells us to look at CCL. CCL the same, inside bar, pokes up, boom, RevStrat, 122. And the good thing about this is a 3. So look to take this out and maybe this all the way down to here if they want to start pounding that. If we go to MU, and MU, once again here, the inside week, pokes up. Here's an outside bar. Boom. We were looking to see if we can take this out. Below 86.14. Right? And right now, you're 86.80. So if we can take that out, you might get some more because of the inside day here coming down. And now, potential outside month. If they want to keep hitting this thing, we can watch that obviously with the rest of SMHers and all that. Triple D. And Triple D, once again, inside week, pokes up, boom, RevStrat here, below 28.31, and this has been on the radar all month because of this, the 2 up, 2 down month, right? So you have your little corrective activity here, and now back to business puking. Here's your 3, 2 down on the 60, tried to poke up, boom. As soon as it takes that, we're looking for an outside bar of that. You got it. Now it continues. That tells us to look at SSYS. And SSYS here on the weekly. Seeing if we can take this out. Here. Inside bar. Pokes up. Boom. This would go RevStrat here. Below 25.31. Which is on the radar as well because of the monthly. 2 up by taking out the highs and then boom, taking out that low. If we go to LVS. More opening up stuff. Right? Red on the month after a slight higher high. Outside bar. They're willing to pay up and sell down. They went inside. They tried to take it up, rejected. Here. 122 below 63.70. Right? Because this is an outside bar, we're going to see if we can come down here and take this out. 59.13. And that tells us, look at win. Win. 3-2 down on the week. Outside day, outside week, and taking that down. This rejection of new highs is still continuing, as far as we know. All right? I'm always running out of time here. We have some Western Digi. Western Digi off the inside day. All right? Real nice hit there right out the chute. Full time frame continuity because everything is red. A nice move back through previous range. Trying to take out last week's lows, and that tells us to look at STX. Here, not quite there yet, but STX, you're going to see this pattern again. The inside day, the poke up, boom, RevStrat to the downside. All right, we got some financials. American Express continuing that 2-2 reversal from last week. 2 up, 2 down. Capital One here, still taking out last week's lows. Inside day to the downside. DFS taking out last week's lows. Continuing last week's weakness. Just a few more here. Marriott here on the inside day to the downside. 2-2 reversal, 2 up on the weekly coming down. And of course the strat attack is today, and so I'm going to be talking about a lot of this stuff. More opening up inside day down letter H and Marriott. So being able to catch on to these themes are a good thing, right? You can see, you know exactly where to go, and you know exactly what to scan, what to look for, and then go right to those given sectors. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith and Black Channel here at TikTok. Strat Time Report.